Okay, that's interesting. It says we are live, so let's give it a shot again. Let's see.
Wow, we're lagging a bit.
Yes. That's what I was afraid
It's live.
But the other time I saw it live, it is Fancy Pants.
Oh, there's no Wi-Fi.
When you don't know, it just don't make things up.
What do you mean we're connected to? Wait,
You do know you're alive, right? The frozen screen doesn't make much of a difference. What's the problem?
Is that on your page?
I shared a video.
I was just wondering if you just started watching random people on your page.
I might actually let people use the pages right now. No, I haven't. Well, somebody was also discussing return to school. The very topic I wanted to discuss.
Let me send this one.
It's what?
Let me send this one.
We did the amamancy.
Really? Yeah.
Tumified ama. Original Black Panther.
I'm getting a new one.
What's a playback?
I don't know what a playback is. It's a playback.
No, but seriously, what's a playback?
Right, I don't know what's wrong with the internet today, but we will manage it as best as we can. Hello, hello. Can anybody hear me? Okay, let's see. Hear us. Hello, hello, hello. Good evening, everybody. I am hoping that the connection is not as bad as I fear it is, because I can't see anything apart from a blur on the screen. It is frozen, but I'm hoping that those of you watching are able to see what is on the screen, that you are able to be part of the broadcast. If you can see us, if you can hear us, can you please say hello? Can you help us share the video? Can you tell others that we had a problem with sound, but we have fixed it and we are back? Can you stop gossiping behind me? Thank you.
We're not gossiping about you.
You don't need to be gossiping about any. You should not be gossiping. Full stop. Right, let's talk. I wanted to actually talk to people about what discussions we should have with you after your first few days back in school. So what conversations do you think parents should have with children when you return to school? What do you think is worth discussing?
How was school?
How was school is a simple question. Why should we ask you how school was?
To identify signs of depression, so that not like I know anything about depression. I know nothing about depression. All those rumors are lies.
Rumors from who?
Those rumors say, teenagers are so depressed. It's a lie.
Really?
Mm.
Oh, you are so exciting. The kid is not depressed
I'm
at
not
all.
depressed.
All right.
Well, you're being sarcastic.
Well, no, I'm just saying that you are not depressed. Or do you want me to say you're depressed? So we should look for signs of depression. Do you think that any teenager in your school, in your age range, might be depressed?
No. They go around, they go places, they hang out with their friends, and they're fine.
You think every teenager is fine? They are not depressed.
No.
So why did you bring the word depression to the table to discuss in the first place?
Some people are depressed.
Which people?
Don't know. Any year, any age. Not sure why, but it happens.
Well, you can't tell me something happens and then you tell me it doesn't happen to anybody. So how does it happen when it doesn't happen
What
to
did he tell
anybody?
anybody? I just said it doesn't happen to just teenagers.
It happens to it could happen to anybody, not just teenagers. Right. I didn't think teenagers should be depressed in any way because you have absolutely no responsibilities. School is not a responsibility.
We're responsible to attend school.
No, your parents are responsible for paying for everything and getting everything ready and worrying about you and taking all their money out to get you ready, kitted to go to school.
Yeah, I know. Most people don't want to go to school.
Most people don't want to go to school. Why? I mean, you might want to start expatiating on the side. Why do you think? Hi, Charlotte. Hi. Hello, darling. Says, could you share the video for me, please? Could you tell people we are here? We are looking to have a discussion briefly with these young people before they go to sleep. They have 10 minutes to spend with me before they go. I'll give you a 5-minute extension, so 10. Okay. All right. So we should look out for signs of depression. That's an interesting one. I was not expecting that. Nana, what do you think would make people depressed at your age?
What? Why specifically my age?
No, in that teenage range. What would make people depressed?
Maybe lack of contact with friends.
Lack of contact with friends.
So you're depressed?
No.
Excuse you, we are friends.
I know. But
So there's plenty of contact. No?
we're related.
Well, there's some contact. Right?
There's plenty of contact.
Physical.
Right.
Oh.
Oh, goodness.
Wow.
Goodness gracious. We do have some physical contact, but apart from physical contact, let's talk seriously. So, when you come after the first day of school, what conversations do we normally have?
Oh, what did you do in school? Nothing. Oh, okay. What was supposed to come in? I don't know.
Yeah, that was the first day. And then the second day.
What did you do at school? Oh, we just got things ready. Do anything else? No.
Yeah, you're very eloquent. It's very exciting.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm. The thing is, this is what I've been dreading all along. My kids used to be nice.
What do you mean? I was always nice. Not sure about her. She used to be nice.
They used to be nice. They used to be chatty. They actually used to be eloquent. They could hold conversations with
I'm
me.
still eloquent.
They
yeah,
could
I
tell
can
me.
still talk to you.
Really?
Yeah, really?
hmm But at the moment, we've moved from them to monosyllabic cave people. How was school? Did you do anything in school today? What?
That's not how we respond.
Really?
No, you respond more like a
No, we just find it's fine.
It was
Yeah.
fine.
Mom,
He denies it. And in the middle of denying, well, there you go. Kid says, okay. And then he wants to contend that his mom makes things up.
Yes, you are.
Mhm.
Yes, you are.
The evidence is right there for people to see.
What evidence? I don't see any.
Burn the evidence.
So one of the first things I ask when the kids come from school is, who are your teachers? Who are your teachers? We've held that conversation a few times this week. Sometimes you were needing to be realized that I was still asking that question. I wanted to know. And today, when you told me who your Arabic teacher was, what was my reaction? Oh my God!
No more complaints.
No! But why did I have that reaction?
Because
I
she
don't-
complains and complains and complains.
Well, complaints is fine. I actually ask people and invite complaints. I want people to tell me.
You want people to complain?
Yeah, absolutely.
Mom, I'm so sleepy.
Not
I'm
you,
so-
shush.
Oh.
Mom, I'm hungry.
I want your teachers to complain and not you complaining.
What?
But yeah, oh my God, the Arabic teacher. The reason why I had that response was that the Arabic teacher is not somebody who wants to give me information. She complains, yes, but doesn't give me anything to work with. And I was sort of hoping that we would get somebody else who knew, somebody who might give me something to work with.
I was just like, oh,
Anyway,
he's doing this. Okay.
regardless of what it is good for me to know that we still do have the same old problem and that things haven't changed and we're going to have to learn to manage and to move things forward. So a certain young man might be able to speak some Arabic. I'm not having that issue with a certain young lady and her Arabic teacher
Yet.
yet.
What do you mean? I don't have Miss Muna. I have Miss Muna.
Wait, isn't Miss Movement still lower class?
I don't know.
Isn't she what?
Yeah, but I'm
Yeah.
quite good in my. Okay, so the rest of my class, they suck. They make me seem smart.
Well, maybe because you might be smart. Have
No,
you
I mean,
considered it? Like
yeah,
you,
I actually try.
you
I don't.
might actually be smart.
Yeah, I try.
Yes.
But like, if there's like an Arabic test, there's no point of studying if I already know what's going to be on the test. She gives us the test to study from.
Yes.
I love it.
Yes.
Yeah, so
All the teachers do that.
Ah,
They
Because
just give you the test.
the exact.
all the
same.
teachers in every subject.
No, just
just Arabic.
They give you.
I was about to have a heart attack. I was going to have a full open
No.
heart.
No.
No, it's just they just give you the test to be like study from this. Okay, you will get 100%, and people still fail.
Well, I wonder why.
Yeah,
Because
me
like
too.
it's kind of hard to type that into Google Translate.
You mean it's difficult to cheat in Arabic?
Mm.
There's an app where you take a picture of it and it translates.
How would you know?
I haven't downloaded it. I don't know.
Uh-huh.
I don't know what it's called.
So then how do you know it exists? Because I don't know it
because,
exists.
because people.
Oh, you do know the name too?
No, that's just a coding website.
Oh, goodness gracious.
No,
Goodness
you can type it in
gracious.
Replit. It's where you can learn Python and HTML and
What's
stuff.
Python? Is that a language?
Yeah, it's a coding language.
Oh, coding language.
I don't know how to write Python at all.
Sounds like a snake.
So you do need to learn Python,
Yeah.
which is part of the conversations that you have with people. Can you be sensible? Thank you very
You're
much.
still live.
Part of the conversation we need to have with people, with the children, is what their needs are. And it can be asked formally, it can be asked informally, it can be done in conversation where the kids don't even realize that you might be asking. But you need to know what is going well, who teaches them, do they like this teacher, do you have history with this teacher, is there compensation points that you need to put in place in order to work effectively with this teacher. After that, you also need to find out what the kids need. Sometimes they have all their needs met. Sometimes they have deficits and they have issues to address. And it is very important that as a parent, you know what the kids need. Yes.
There's
Might
a-
you want to put your hand down and just
There's a learning mentor. Learning
mentor?
Yeah.
You've got a learning mentor.
Yeah. So you have to get your target grade. Otherwise, you go to the Miss Shafiq, and she tells you what to do to get back up to your expected grade.
So Miss Shafiq is your learning mentor for everybody in your year group.
No,
Yeah,
they're
9,
different.
10, and 11.
They're different. There's Miss James for Miss James is 11.
No, Mr. Fix only 9, 10, 11, I
I
Do you
saw a
believe or are you
slide.
sure?
believe. Yeah, she's
Right.
not just a PowerPoint.
Things do change. Maybe they've got new members of staff. But it's interesting, isn't it, that you have, what do you call them? Learning mentors in class. I think these things are put in place in schools because sometimes parents don't quite understand the need for us to be these learning mentors at home. School might put support in, school might give you people, but as we've just found out, Miss Shafiq mentoring the whole of year 9, 10, and 11 is insane. I don't know how many minutes per school year should be able to give each child in those 3-year groups to actually sit down and have a meaningful conversation.
That's why most people ship it to the grades, so she doesn't have
I believe they're going to do them in like classes, year group classes.
They will do them in year group classes. Well, I do hope that none of you actually end up in those places. And in fact, if you are going to end up in those places, I should
You
be
should
the
say
first
goodbye
person.
to your house.
I should be the first person who knows so I can kill you myself.
So
Say
say goodbye to your house.
Throw out to the street.
To which house? No, I'm the first person who should
Why
know.
me? Why are you saying throw her to the house? What about you?
Did you say you were visiting her?
No.
Visiting who?
Who said anyone about
Miss
this?
Shafiq.
Who? I never said.
Okay.
Why would she go and visit me, Miss Shafiq?
Don't know, I'm just asking.
I've never been to her office before.
Ignore this one. Anyway, I am still on my 5 minute extension and don't waste it on bickering. I wanted to chat
Actually, 1
today.
minute.
1 minute. I wanted to chat today so parents would know what you want us to find out from you. What do you normally desperately want to talk to parents about once you've been to school? What would you like parents to ask you apart from how was your day? Why is how was your day important? Do you like answering that question? You don't like answering that question? Why not?
Because you have to explain.
And you don't like explaining? Why not?
Because what if you had a horrible day?
Well, if you did have a horrible day, then you did have a horrible day, and that's exactly what you say.
Okay,
Like,
but
that's it?
there's not
Okay,
really
so I don't have to
anything
go
else
into
you can say
detail?
apart from
Well,
Because then you would ask.
then
what
I would
made you
ask
say-
what made it so horrible, yes, and then you explain it to me what made it horrible.
But apart from that, there's not really much to talk about. And when you ask about that, there's not, depending on what we're talking about, there's not much that can be done, really.
Aren't you
Especially if
supposed
it's
to be on the
positive.
positive side?
Oh, this kid is so positive.
Especially when you're positive, there's not really anything. Once you say, oh, it was fine, I had a great day, okay, end of conversation.
No, usually it's what made it so great.
And then, like, end of conversation.
No. What made it so great? Physics was wonderful. Ooh, what was wonderful about physics? Well, excuse you. What's wrong with
The
physics?
physics teacher
It's
needs
the
some
teacher.
time to get adjusted to our environment.
What do you mean?
He has no idea what he's doing
He
yet.
wastes paper.
He's kind of confused.
And you are the evaluator of physics teachers right now?
Yes.
But-
I've gone
What
through-
makes you feel so qualified?
I've gone
No,
through
because,
the
Mom-
right in the 10 physics teachers.
Because
Right,
you
so
know,
out of those 3 physics teachers, who was sensational? Who was the absolute
I've
best?
only had this high school. How sad.
Surprisingly, the teacher managed to get people from like 2 C's to about 5s. In
That was those people. I'm asking about you.
me.
Yeah, you.
Uh,
Who was amazing as your physics teacher and why?
Can't answer. I'm the same
not
teacher.
sure how to answer that question actually.
Answer is sincerely.
Okay,
I don't know.
I've only had one teacher.
Yeah, so that's the best teacher you've ever had in physics. Do other people like him?
No.
Saeed, at the time we had some 60,000.
No, he's on something. Mm,
I'm
No
afraid
way.
Extensions of
we'll do 4 minutes and then you go. Okay. Listen, I was asking about the physics teachers. It doesn't even have to be a physics teacher, it can be any teacher. Which teachers are amazing and what makes them amazing?
what do you mean by amazing?
Well, good. You were evaluating and you think this new teacher doesn't know what he's
Define.
doing, so I'm
He's not
asking.
new. He was here last year.
Colton,
Who's Colton? Your maths teacher.
I'm a physics teacher.
Who's
Mr. Pertz? I'm not talking about Mr. Pertz.
Oh,
He's been here for about 6 years.
Yeah, but who is this new one? This one is a new teacher?
Colton, yeah.
Okay, and you think he doesn't know what he's doing?
Yet.
Why, what did he do?
Yet. Explain why.
I'm sure he has the knowledge, but like he's still trying to get used to our class.
What do you mean?
Yeah, explain.
Alright.
What is there to
So-
get used to?
For people.
He has the knowledge, but like there's something about his communication skills right now.
Okay,
a little
like
bit
this
off.
guy, like
So he seems kind of nervous, a little bit like Abina when she meets new people. She kind of freezes for a moment, and then like it takes some time.
just
to
drag
get
me
used.
into this.
Yeah, I'm just wondering how she got thrown so quickly under the bus.
I said story.
We were talking about physics
Mr.
teachers,
Colton, and then I
suddenly
somehow
it's
get
her.
into the conversation. Oh.
Do you
I
want
don't
to
know.
be in conversation?
Not at this point, not under the bus. Thank you very much. So this person is a bit nervous.
Like, what does
might
he
it
do?
be
Does he, like-
because that your class is naughty? The class is not naughty. Perfect little angels.
They're fine.
And the teacher
They've done
doesn't
nothing
know yet.
No, something could happen. I don't know.
Now I'm concerned.
I don't know.
What class are you in?
I am very
Physics.
worried. Right, so physics teacher is a bit nervous. Now that makes me a little bit nervous because I want to know if physics teacher would be able to
If you
push
can't
you.
talk to students, how
and
does he
extend
expect to
you.
talk to parents?
Well, sometimes when kids are misbehaving, it makes it difficult for people to interact,
It's
or
done.
it might be that if sometimes you move to a new area and that you remember the first few weeks when you were here and everything was up in the air, so it can disorient you sometimes. So I'm hoping it's one of those.
Oh, everything was up in the air.
he seems
Mhm.
very new to the country.
He's very new to the country. He probably is brand new to the country.
Probably came from England.
Probably, and it's going to take some getting used to because it's nothing like in England.
People will burn here.
Chemistry, what's chemistry like?
Mr. Khan.
Don't have chemistry yet.
We've not had one yet.
You
So
haven't
who's-
at the end of the week.
Everton's Thursday.
Every chemistry lesson is on Thursday.
No, I had one Sunday, but then that was skipped due to introductions.
So that was in the
So,
morning.
I have the double on Thursday.
Okay. And biology?
And
I'm Miss
biology,
Johnson.
Miss Shafiq.
Okay. So you've had Miss Shafiq. Right, what were you thinking? Like it?
Lots of things.
Lots of notes. But that's bio. That has nothing to do with the teacher, that's just the subject.
That's why she gave us wait. She gave us a thicker binder.
She
Then
gave me
physics.
binders.
So you've got binders, stationery wise, do you need anything?
No, I've color coded all of my binders.
Can you please have more paper?
Line paper?
No. The teachers will give you paper. That's what they said.
No, I've
Yeah,
never
so
really
I don't.
depended on that. I've always got lined paper that you can use.
Thanks.
So that reminds me. Let me add that to our list.
What list?
Unfortunately, a second extension is on.
Yes. Thank you guys for being part of my conversation. I suggest you storm my kitchen and you go find interesting things to snack on.
Bye bye. Kiss mom.
Mwah, keep it warm.
Goodbye.
Right, so you're not weird at all, are you?
No.
Lined paper, right?
Yeah.
Nana,
Yes, Mom.
what about plain paper?
Pardon? Plain? What do you mean, plain line? Or line?
No, lined paper we need for the binders. Do you need any other stationery? Or that's it?
Just line paper.
Just lined paper. Okay. Bye. See ya. Right. Hello, everybody. So I wanted to have a conversation with the kids. It seemed like an open flow, but I was actually exploratory. I wanted to see how they felt about the teachers. Sometimes you can make it seem serious. Sometimes you can be a little bit sneaky in your interrogation. It really doesn't matter what style you use. But whatever style you employ should allow you to find out how the kids are finding school, who are their new teachers. It is worth finding out how the kids evaluate these new teachers. If a kid trusts a teacher, that kid will interact differently with this teacher. If a kid thinks, like my son, funnily enough, suddenly says that this new physics teacher doesn't seem to know what he's doing, so that has my alarm bells flagging, ding ding, dong dong, dong dong, might be one to watch. If a kid thinks that the teacher doesn't quite know or is not control of what they're doing in class, it makes student confidence drop. It makes it difficult for a kid to accept what is being taught, and so it might be prudent at that time to pull the kid and have a conversation. You might need to have an attitude readjustment conversation. You might want to explore and understand why a child might have a view of a particular teacher. And after a while, if that's not settling, you might look at other intervention strategies. So we've gone back to school. My question is, what conversations have you had with the kids? What kind of conversations have you had with the kids? What have your kids told you about school? Have the kids reported positive things back? Have they had concerns coming back? Have they identified needs which require addressing? Or do they feel that everything is hunky-dory and things are going well? Do you think that your kids' assessment of where things are at school would be accurate? Do you think it might be worth? Mine are a bit older, and because I've been doing this with them for quite a while, I am comfortable, I'm confident with where they tell me things are. It's okay when they say things are fine. When they tell me things are not fine, that's okay too, but I always interrogate a little bit to find out why that's the case. So teacher doesn't know what he's doing. Okay. What makes you think so? And he says the teacher's communication seems a bit nervous. Like, okay. And at the end, I was actually having this conversation about maybe the teacher's brand new to school, just so we set a baseline and we give it a chance. We are not too quick to judge, but it's definitely one that I will look at. It is definitely. And over time, I will ask them how subjects go. And sometimes, like they say in biology, there's an awful lot of notes. The teacher is keeping us busy. This teacher is a taskmaster, so I know exactly who is piling on the work and who is putting the pressure the way I want it. If they are not bringing homework after week 1, week 2, it will suggest that somebody might be lax in terms of homework. You might want to have that discussion with the teacher. What's the homework policy? Are the kids going to get it? Or the teacher will say to you, nah, there's no need giving them extra. I've given them this instead. I have decided to push this skill instead. And if that's the case, that's fair enough. But you need to find out whether your kids are getting a fair entitlement from school. 1, are your kids confident in the people teaching them? 2, do your kids feel like the teaching style suits them? 3, have they got the study materials? Have they got the textbooks? Have they got the workbook? Have they got the pencil cases and the stationery they need to be able to effectively participate in class? If they haven't, please augment what they have and make sure that everything they need to make good progress is available. Do your kids feel that in spite of all these things that you've put in place, that they are actually in control? Do your kids feel in control of the process? Or might it be worth looking at extra intervention for them? Extra intervention might be from online material. Thankfully for people these days, there is the wonderful University of YouTube. On YouTube, there are many accounts to check. For those of you who are doing sciences, GCSE sciences, there is my GCSE Science. It's a channel on YouTube. Definitely check it out. Few Schools is a very good one too on YouTube. Check it out. If your child is a little bit of the fun type, sing-song type child, one who likes to play and to use music to learn, you might want to check Mr. Parr, P-A-R-R, Mr. Parr. He does trendy music, but he teaches scientific concepts with trendy music. It's songs that the kids might know already, and it helps them to make connections with the scientific theories. It makes it fun to learn. So there's Mr. Parr. There is Mr. Edmonds also on YouTube that you can have your kids check out. McGraw-Hill has a lot of resources for the sciences, especially in animations. So if your kid is doing a concept which is abstract, like photosynthesis, or they're doing something which is difficult to imagine, using those simulations and using those animations help to make it visible. It helps to make the kids see what it is that they are supposed to understand. And because things become visual, it makes it easy for kids to connect to. It makes it easy for kids to imagine and to understand and to apply from understanding. So my question is, what conversations have happened in your home after the first day back or the first few days back? Have you bothered speaking to your kids? If you have, well done. Pat yourself on the back. How was your day is only an opener. That is not the whole conversation. The whole conversation will start from how was your day? How was school? Have your friends returned? Who's left class? Which teachers are new? Oh my God, are there improvements? What do you think? All these things will help you realize what the status of affairs is. They will help you work out whether you do have a problem or whether you don't have a problem, whether everything is going fine or not. And if everything is going fine, thank the good Lord for that. If things are not going fine, then it requires that you sit down, you evaluate, and you action plan. So today I am going to sit down and I'm going to read 2 or 3 reports from clients of mine in my parenting group, my mentorship group. What I'm actually doing in reading those reports is picking up the hidden meaning in the reports, because a lot of the report is actually written in code. In every profession, there is code. People write things in a particular style and they expect that the audience should interpret it the way they intend. But usually when you go to a hospital and the doctor writes his notes, you can read his notes, but you would not decipher what he means. The pharmacist would know. The other medical personnel will know. Regardless of how educated you are or how eloquent you are or how in control you are in normal spoken English, you might not understand what they mean because it's written in professional code. And unfortunately, Students' reports are also written in professional code in most cases. And a lot of us read the reports. We do not interpret exactly what is written in the report. So my clients have contracted me to read the reports, interpret the reports, and more importantly, based on the targets set for the students, to create an action plan for the said kids. So I'm going to sit down and write those. Have you had that done for you if you cannot do it yourself? Have you actually had a crack at it yourself? Have you read it? Do you know what your kids' report said? Do you know what your strengths and weaknesses are? Do you know what your compensation points should be? And have you got an action plan in place to compensate where necessary? It is going to be a successful new year because this year we are going to do things differently. This year we are actually going to tackle problems before they become an issue. We are going to address emerging targets. We're not going to wait till the end of the year for teachers to tell you what has been a problem since September. So people will tell you the Ghanaian kids, they coast in schools because they are actually capable students. But with a little bit of extension, we could actually have fantastic students. We could have phenomenal students. The difference between a phenomenal student and an average student is usually the interventions put in place. So my question tonight is, do you know your kids' deficits? Are you fooled by the fact that your kid is eloquent? Or are you able to look underneath the eloquence and pick up comprehension issues? Are your kids' deficits being masked by their personality? Because it can possibly happen. There are some kids who are so bubbly, who are so friendly, who are so well behaved, who don't speak, who are naturally shy, and it makes it very difficult for you to see when they have issues. It is difficult for teaching professionals to work it out, but you do know your kid the best. You are the best person to diagnose if things are going right, if things are not going right. But if you are going to be able to do that critical job, it will require that you actually do speak to the kids. You will have to have a conversation with the kids. You will have to interact with the kids. You will have to intentionally create opportunities for those kids to give you their thoughts. I'm trying to work out, okay, this sentence is much better. So this year, whenever I have a bit of time, especially now that I've managed to get this live feature to work, I will try very hard because I'm struggling. I'm struggling to do the video recording and editing and uploading and blah, blah, blah. It's a lot easier if I just go live. And that's the reason why this week you found that I was asking. I am only able, starting from Sunday, I'm going to be back on the road working. When I'm back on the road, I'm not going to be able to use this app to do the live broadcast. So it is going to be a challenge. I would prefer to be able to do live mobile broadcasts on YouTube, and I need 480 people more subscribing to my channel to unlock that potential. So if you come across this video, can you please go to my YouTube channel? It's Amamanson1. There is an Amamanson with a white person's picture. That's not me. Amamanson1. You will see my picture on there. You will see my other videos on there. www.youtube.com/c/Amamanson1. That is my channel ID. But if you go to YouTube and you type in Amamanson1, it should bring me up as well. Follow the subscribe to the page, and please turn on the notification so that when I go live or I upload something new, you would be able to see. It is a challenge to come live on YouTube and then have to share it on Facebook and tell everybody and Messenger. Now that I have not actually hit the road, it's possible, but from next week, it's going to be a huge challenge. So I'm trying to preempt and prevent. I want to have these conversations a little bit more frequently. I do want us to chat about how things are going. I would like to start talking to you about the quality of homework. I want to talk to you about strategies for teaching your kids things like times tables. I want to teach you strategies that could be useful for spellings. I'll teach you numeracy, literacy, and scientific strategies in the hope that it will help your kids make a little bit more of an accelerated progress this year. Okay, I'm going to leave this particular one here. It was a trial anyway. I wanted to see if the app held its own. I wanted to see if it would buffer. I wanted to see if it was difficult for you guys to follow. So if you are on, can you do me a favor and can you please give me a bit of feedback? What has your experience been like? Okay, I've just switched this on to here. Okay. Sound seems to be fine from just my playback right now. But Charlotte, can you hear me? Are you still on? There are 5 people watching. Can you please do me a favor and give me some feedback on the performance of the app? Has it worked? It's worked fine on Facebook the last couple of weeks or so. But I want to know if it works on YouTube as well. Is it working? Is the band speed good enough? Has it been buffering as well? Did it stop? Did it drop? Or was it good enough? Is it something I should continue to use? A little bit of feedback really would be very helpful. I want to know if it worked. There is no point carrying on if it's not a good enough output. But let me thank you. Let me love you. Let me leave you. I hope that these conversations actually do help refine the conversations you have with your own kids. I hope it draws your attention to the things that you need to focus on and ask from the kids. I hope that it helps you to be a little bit more up close and personal with the kids so that you can spot patterns and changes in patterns when they happen before it is too late. Thank you so much. My name remains Amamansin. Check me out on the usual channels. You can find me on YouTube now. You can find me on Facebook as usual. I pretend to be on Instagram. I am trying. I am still not a good Instagrammer, but I'm not even a good YouTuber. I am a Facebook girl, and I'm trying the other channels. So check me out. Tell other people about it. Share the video and tell people Amma is looking to educate us, to mentor us, to be more supportive of our children, to help them make better progress this academic year. Thank you so much. Use this minute and a half to share the video for me and tell other people what the video was about. Yes.
Original Black Panther. I'm a man, I'm a God, I'm Tennessee. To be fine, I'm yet original Black Panther. I'm a man, I'm a God, I'm Tennessee. To be fine, I'm yet original Black Panther. I'm a man, I'm a God, I'm Tennessee. To be fine, I'm yet original Black Panther. I'm a Tennessee. Bravo for I will meet you. I'm a Tennessee. I'm a Tennessee.
Share the video for me, okay?
I'm a Tennessee. One shot, I'm a Tennessee. Bravo for I will measure. I'm a Tennessee. I'm a man, I'm a God, I'm Tennessee. To be fine, I'm yet original Black Panther.
Alright, don't forget to subscribe to the channel before you leave. Tell other people about it. It's something I want to do much better with this year.
I'm a man, I'm a God, I'm Tennessee. To be fine, I'm yet original Black Panther. I'm a man,
Oh yes, thank you so much. Thank you, Joe. Thank you so much.
to be fine, I'm yet original Black Panther.
Me di Amamansi. To be frame Amagana. To be fight Ama. Original Black Panther. One.
Right. It's my favorite track at the moment. It's a track done for me by Kudusi Awamwako. Subscribe to the video, please subscribe to the video. And make sure you switched on the notification. Anytime I have a few minutes, I will sit down and I'll talk through these things with you. It is my free input to parent mentorship. I do have a parent mentorship group, the paid group. The ones who have me sit down and read their reports, have me write action plans for them, have me speak to their kids, have me teach their kids, have me go through the curriculum with them, explain how to teach timetables to the kids at home, explain how to help your kids improve their spelling, recommend books to read and discuss with your kids, and intervention strategies that will help your kids make better progress if they have compensation points. That is a paid service. You want to join that group, please WhatsApp me, the usual number 0044 7947225503. But on here, on the YouTube channel, I will throw out my free videos every now and again. Feel free to tell people about it. Feel free to subscribe and invite people to subscribe as well. So as a final thing before I sign out today, I would like to find out from those of you who watched it what you would like me to discuss next. What would be a good thing to discuss next? So today was conversations to have in the first few days of the school term. Once you've had those conversations, what next? What are the next things you should do? What would you like me to discuss? What would you like me to talk about? I will switch on the music again. I will give it that time for you to give me suggestions. What would you like my next topics to be? What would you like me to chat about? What would you like me to discuss? If you have suggestions, please use that time to suggest. And when the music finishes this time, it will be me signing out and thanking you very much for watching. I am very grateful that you do watch, that you invite other people to watch, and I hope that the time you spend watching is not a waste of your time. I am on standby for your feedback. If
Jobless KSA. I'm a man's agitated. I'm a god. I tell us. You want to be fired up. Yet you. Original Black Panther. I'm a man's agitated. I'm a god. I tell us. You want to be fired up. Yet you. Original Black Panther. I'm a man's agitated. I'm a god, I tell us, you want to be fired up, yet you, original Black Panther, I'm a man's agitator, I'm a god, I tell us, you want to be fired up, yet you, original Black Panther, I'm a Tennessee, brother for our met you, I'm a Tennessee. I'm a man's agitator. I'm a god, I tell us. You want to be fired up, yet you. Original Black Panther, I'm a man's agitator. I'm a god, I tell us. You want to be fired up, yet you. Original Black Panther.
Okay. All right, it's been a while. I've not had any suggestions, so I do not think there will be any suggestions coming. But do feel free to put the suggestions up. I will revisit it in a few hours just to see. If you watch it on the playback, do feel free to put in your comments what you would like me to discuss next. Thank you so much. I hope it's been beneficial to you.